Yeoman, Node, NPM, Grunt, Bower, Angular. Okay? And we also discussed underscore and backbone. 7 things. I'll talk about 6. Okay? I'll try to squeeze in all 7. Alright, so the first thing we do is we get out of this thing, okay? And we open up our terminal. Lucky for you, it's already running. Alright. Okay. Can anyone read this?
No, can I please?
It's fine because you guys don't need to see my crap code that I'm running. So let me go ahead and increase my cursor size a little bit. That good enough?
Yes.
Okay, because actually I'm only going to work on, you know what, let me just do that and then do that again.
Yes.
It's okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's alright? I mean, you don't need to see the prompt. Better? Yeah? Okay. So, now we want to start writing a complete application in JavaScript. Alright? Since you are paying attention to that part of the screen, let me just get rid of it. And so now we start from scratch, basically. Alright? So what I'll do is, I will just keep it like that. And I will just expand it like that. That's better, right? Or you guys cannot see it still. There we go. Okay. We don't need to see it on that end. Okay. Now, to start things off, we will use Yeoman to download what's called a scaffold. A scaffold is basically a skeleton of an application. Right? It's just the basic things you need to get the application running. Things you don't have to go download every time. So let's make a directory first. Okay, of course I already have Node installed on my machine, so I can just run this command. Okay, and this is the Node package manager. It will download this Node package manager. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to use Yo. Okay, and if I hit enter, you'll see the guy will show up on my screen now. Eventually, there he is. You see him? Ta-da! This is the guy. Okay, so Yo can do a lot of things. Okay, the way Yeoman works is there are a bunch of generators you download. Okay. And I have the Angular generator already downloaded on my machine. And what I'll do is, I'll just run the Angular generator. So what this is going to do, Yo is going to go ahead and fetch everything I need to run an Angular app on my machine. Okay, so watch what happens. See, it's saying I can also run Yo Angular, but I'm trying to show you the Yo interface. So it's asking me, would you like to include Twitter Bootstrap in my application? I'll say yes. Okay. Would you like to use the compiled version of the CSS? Okay, I'll say yes, just because. Okay, now which module would you like to include? This one, this one, this one, this one. Enter, and now you see what it did? It went and created these bunch of files on my machine. And notice now what's the command it's there you go. Now what it's doing is it's telling NPM to go ahead and download all the dependencies that I will need to run my server. Okay, so this is NPM. Going and grabbing everything. Typically it's not this fast. I've already cached all the applications. That's why it's running very, very fast. Okay.
How about caching?
It's a configuration. Okay.
Like in pip. Every time I'm installing Django.
So
it gets downloaded.
No, you can even cache pip.
Oh.
I'll show you. You want to show you?
Download cache.
While this is going on, this is why I need a new laptop. See how long the VI is taking? Okay. This is Karma. It's downloading for the testing. So it takes some time to get it done. Just give it this download cache. I will store all the files there. Okay. So Node is going on. Yes.
What is the Twitter Bootstrap?
It's a, let's say, it's a
CSS framework.
It's a framework to make your life easy on the front, like make buttons very easily. And I want a column to be on the left and on the right.
Forms,
Figuring
buttons,
out what to do.
yeah, grid system, organizing things, your layouts.
All right. It's downloading CoffeeScript now. All right. Phantom.js. This is actually one of the reasons why I don't use Yo. It takes 10 years to go in. So And let me start doing it. Let me show you an existing application I've already written, so you guys can know how it works. Okay. So we'll go here. Okay. So this is a project using Angular and Express.
Can you increase the font?
Okay. Now let me show you what all these files are. Okay. This file is my application. This is the backend. This is the server. Okay. I'll open these files for you and show you what they contain. This file is my configuration to know which things I need to make my application run. If I open it, you'll see that it just contains, I need Express and I need J to run my application. Okay? This is for Bower. Actually, this is for NPM. So NPM knows what to install for my application. I need Express and J. That's it. This is a JSON object in a file. Okay. Then this is my server. Okay. I need Express. I need HTTP. Obviously, because it's a server. I need the pathing. Okay. Let me go ahead and take you down to the configuration. This is the port I will use. Okay. This is the directory where my views are stored. This is all configuration. So you say set, you set the configuration for the server. Okay? And this is my roots. So when you say when someone requests the root, it will go to the index. Okay? When someone requests partials, it will go to the partials. I'll explain what partials are later. By the way, you get a JSON API by default because obviously it's JavaScript. So you don't need to write anything. You just say ta-da, and you have your JSON API. There.
Out of the box.
Out of the box. And here is I'm starting my server. Okay? So now to start my server, all I have to do is actually that's it. My server is listening. Okay? Now that my server is listening, what I need to do is I need to go and show you what's the front end going to look like. Like what's my code. Right now I just showed you the server. If I go to my browser, and if I open localhost 3000, you will see this. Okay? This entire application is written in JavaScript. The backend, the front end, even Bob. Bob is actually a database object. Okay? So you saw the backend, you saw the server, right? Server runs on port 3000, it's mapping values. Now what happens, like where is this code being executed? That's what we want to know, right? Where is the view? So if you go back to our terminal, hopefully by this time, okay, it's done. All right, so let's find out what the code is doing. Okay, you know what? What I'll do is I'll close the server from here, and so that we're all on one screen, I'll run the server in this. Okay. So this is the server that's running here, because we don't want to see that big screen, you know. Here's where we're going to go and check on the front end. In my directory, I have public, roots, and views. Okay? If I go to views, I have my Jade template. Let me show you what this looks like. This is my layout. This is my front end. Okay? I'm actually using Angular here. So you see this?
This is Angular.
This is Angular. This is Angular controller. So because Angular is JavaScript, Jade is JavaScript, and Node is JavaScript, Jade knows everything about Angular. So you can
Now, what's the benefits of learning a new language? Then it will change, to convert it to HTML again.
No, because would you rather type this or would you rather type this?
Have you seen Hamlet? It's just trying to make HTML, make you more productive while writing HTML.
Okay.
So this is what it generates. You see how compact and compressed it is?
Okay.
Otherwise you'd have to generate this
It's
yourself.
much faster yani, to write.
Okay.
Easier to read as well.
So this is how you include scripts. Okay. So this is the template that runs when this thing is called. Okay. So I was in views. This is the views directory. Okay. And the layout is my template. So these are my templates. Now let's go to roots and see what's in here. This is my application. Okay? This is my application here. This is telling me that the index root should render the index controller. The partials root get the name from the request parameters, just like if you were developing in Python, you know, request.get. It's the same thing here. And render from the partials directory whatever the name of the request is. Okay?
This is so far an express.
Yes, this is all in Express. Now we're going to go to we'll go to public, because Angular runs in the front end. So you expect the public directory to be filled with
The views and
the JavaScript
yeah.
and the CSS. So if you go to JavaScript, here is my Angular code. Got it? So in this application, I have my backend code, my routing, and my front-end code. All the front-end code goes in public. The backend code stays outside the public directory. So basically, this is what I would upload on my server, and the rest of it will be running in the back. So this is what gets served to the client. If you're familiar with Angular, this will look familiar to you, but let me just go through it really quickly. This is a basic Angular application. All right. You start here by adding, you give your application a name. It's called my app in this scenario. And you add your controllers. Services are basically like database fetching, stuff like that. Filters for your templates, directives. And here is what happens when it's literally configure my module. When the view is view 1, okay, then this is the template, this is the controller. When it's view 2, this is the template, this is the controller. Otherwise, redirect to view 1. Now, if you're smart and you've been paying attention, you'll notice this looks kind of like what I was doing on the server side as well.
Just copying the routes here and there.
Yes, because Angular has that logic of having the routes and the resources and everything configured in Angular, which is why I say I'm still trying to figure out what's the point of Angular. Because whatever code I'm doing in the back end, I have to go, like for example, I cannot write a controller here unless I go and configure it first on the server side. Otherwise it'll give me an error. Right? And then this is a very good thing about Angular. If you just enable this, it tracks the history in HTML5. So you know how Twitter works with the slash and the hash and the so just enable it. It's one line of code.
Nice.
In Angular.
It's much more complicated than
Yeah.
Backbone.
Yes. This Backbone was before Angular's time. You cannot blame Backbone for that. Okay? Now let's go and see what this controller is doing. So when someone requests view 1 in the browser, what happens? This link needs to go to a server. Okay? Let's just pay attention for a second. When you request like index.html from the browser, what happens? Browser goes to the server, says give me index.html. Server goes and first checks, okay, is this a valid request or not? Then, if it's index.html, it will go to its document root, take that file, send it back to the browser, and now you have index.html. Okay? If you request index.php, for example, what the server does, it gets the request, it validates it, it knows it's PHP, it tells the PHP engine, wake up, take the index.php file, run it, give me back the code which I will send back to the browser.
So it's a faster in Angular.
So this is that logic. in Angular or in Express or in underscore or underpants or whatever, it's the same logic. Why? Because the browser needs to talk to a server. The difference is, in our case, the server is written in JavaScript. Instead of being Apache or IIS or something like that. Question?
Just following.
Okay, all right. Make sense?
Yeah.
This is our server. Here, it's running. Okay? When I request this link, you will see here, there'll be a log entry. Watch. When I refresh this, see this?
Yeah.
This is my server. This is what I would see in the Apache logs as well. So the browser said, I need the favorite icon. It said 200. It said, I need view 1. It said, okay. 200 means okay, right? And what the server did, now the server needs to know what to do with view 1. When view 1, Angular will then run this controller. This controller tells the server to return a response, which is this line here, which is why it's 647 bytes. It's a very big response. And why it takes 143 milliseconds. This is actually, the logic is running here. This step returns the template to the browser. In the HTML, it needs the CSS, so it sends this request. Then it needs the library, it sends this request. And then all this is from the template that's generated from Angular.
But in production mode, these files will be basically
Compressed.
Yeah.
You would not use
It's a
this.
single request.
It's a single request, yeah. Is that clear? Because it's critical to understand what exactly you're looking at when you look at this stuff. Because otherwise, that's why you can replace this with Apache or Nginx or anything.
What's the major difference with Backbone? Angular and Backbone.
Kind of a philosophical difference as well. Angular is a lot more lightweight. It doesn't have a lot of the stuff in the front end. You always need to use something else with Angular to take care of the front end, like the display components, like rendering a table and rendering the rows. So Angular Backbone goes very well with jQuery, for example. Right? So Backbone takes care of the how do I call an API, how do I fetch a JSON object. Okay. Instead of returning you the Java object to your JavaScript, it returns you a resource, which is rich. So like for example, if I'm requesting a person's record, okay, I can just do person.email, okay, search, and it knows how to search it in the backend.
This is Angular.
This is Angular and Backbone, and that's the whole concept behind it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. But the difference between Backbone and Angular, Backbone is a lot more lightweight. It doesn't do a lot of the full bore end-to-end that Angular does. And but Angular takes a lot of its inspiration from Backbone. So there are concepts that are similar. I mean, because if you think about it, if you're developing an application, you need storage, you need retrieval, you need searching, you need also to repeat rows and templates and stuff.